This Devar Torah is Le'ilui Nishmas my parents, Aryeh ben Lipman and Chanalea Bas Binyamin Halevi, Zichronam Levracha, as well as my uncle Moshe ben Lipman, who passed away on the fourth night of Hanukkah, and my grandmother, Fega Bas Moshe, who passed away on the fifth night of Hanukkah. Zichronam Levracha, may all their neshamos be a source of bracha. One of the special characteristics of Hanukkah is the uniqueness and individuality in the performance of the mitzvah of lighting the menorah. Most other mitzvahs are more uniform in nature and are only given marginal capacity for enhancement. For instance, on Pesach night, we all drink 4 cups of wine at the exact same parts of the Seder. Now, you may drink a fine wine out of a fancy becher that you got from your grandfather, and I might drink grape juice out of a fancy silver-colored plastic cup, so I don't have to clean it afterwards. But when it comes to Hanukkah, we have a wide variety of options and opinions as to how to perform the mitzvah of lighting the menorah. As it says in Maseches Shabbos, Daf Chaf Aleph Amud Bet, the basic mitzvah is to have 1 candle per household. If you're a mahadran or scrupulous kind of a person with the mitzvah, then you light 1 candle for each household member each night. And if you're really mahadran kind of a person and love going overboard on all your chumras, i.e. mahadran min a mahadran, there just happens to be a machlokas between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel on what to do. Beis Shammai say, light 8 candles on the first night and then subtract 1 each night. And Beis Hillel say that you start with 1 candle on the first night and then increase 1 candle each night until the 8th night. So, even though Rabbi Muskin always says that Y is a crooked letter, it's a good question here, no? What's so special about Hanukkah that we get different options to fulfill the mitzvah and even a machlokes to boot on the frummiest of ways to deal with the mahadran min a mahadran question? The Nesivos Shalom provides the insight to understanding all of this. But first, who was the Nesivos Shalom? The Nesivos Shalom is actually a 7-volume masterful work written by Rabbi Shalom Noach Berezovsky, Zecher Tzadik Levracha. Through his amazing Torah teachings, Rabbi Berezovsky became known as the Nesivos Shalom. He was a modern-day Hasidic master of the Slonim dynasty, so he was known as the Slonim Rebbe. The Slonim dynasty, currently centered in Israel, has its roots going all the way back to the Baal Shem Tov through the Lechovich and Kobrin dynasties. The Nesivos Shalom lived from August of 1911 through August of 2000. What was so unique about the Slonimer yeshiva learning that influenced Rabbi Berezovsky was that it combined unadulterated, joyful Hasidus with the penetrating academic depths of the Litvish style of learning. This occurred through the influence of the Rosh Yeshiva who came from Telz Yeshiva stock and the Mashgiach Ruchani, who was a student of Rav Chaim Soloveitchik. So now that I've piqued yours and Rabbi Muskin's interest into this Hasidic master, how did he, the Nesivos Shalom, understand this issue about the variety of ways to do the mitzvah of lighting candles for Hanukkah? The Nesivos Shalom sees the 3 levels of the Hanukkah lighting options relating to the 3 levels of Amunah and Hashem that a person may reach, which also correspond to 3 major parts of the human body. The most basic, elementary level of Amunah is Amunas HaMoach, your brain. It's an intellectual level of awareness of Hashem's existence and control of the world. The next level, which is like the distance between heaven and earth, is known as Amunas Halev. That's more than just intellectual. It's internalizing the knowledge into one's heart, to feel Hashem's involvement in everything that happens in this world, not just to see it and acknowledge it intellectually. And then the next level of Amunah, which is also what the Chashmonaim from the Hanukkah story were able to accomplish, is Amunas Ha'evarim, feeling Hashem's involvement in your every movement, through all of your limbs, straight down into your bones, as they say. It's knowing that everything you do, and that is being done, has a deliberate arrangement and is precisely calculated and orchestrated by Hashem for your benefit, knowing that in your bones gives a sense of peace and tranquility. Look at Tehillim Lamed Hey, 35, and you'll see that David HaMelech knew Hashem in this special way when he stated, Kol asmosai tomarna Hashem mi chamocha. All my bones shall say, Hashem, who can compare to you? This level of emunah permeates every fiber of your being so deep that even your bones, which are heavy and remain on this earth after a person is gone, radiate outward the love that comes from knowing Hashem in such a spiritual way. Such a person is a true tzaddik. And then there's a whole other aspect of Hanukkah candles, which corresponds to the midah of kedusha, holiness, that the Nesivos Shalom brings to light. The first basic level of one candle per household is likened to a generalized, simple understanding of kedusha, which is refrain from sin. The next level of kedusha with one candle per person is more individualized, yet not still specific, is compared to the phrase in Vayikra of kedoshim tihiyu, you should be holy. Finally, the highest level, which can be seen through a pasuk in Tehillim Lamed Daled 34 of Sur Meira V'aseh Tov. The Nesivos Shalom relates this pasuk of refrain from doing evil and do good. He relates this pasuk to the machlokes between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. Beis Shammai's method of poches v'holech, reducing a candle each night as a Sur Meira approach, curtailing one's enjoyment of material pleasures in order to achieve holiness, while Beis Hillel's method of mosif v'holech, adding a candle each night, is an aseh tov approach, or method that emphasizes positive and constructive efforts to cultivate ours and our families' ability to reach higher and higher levels of kedusha. So on this holy and special night of Hanukkah, may we all internalize the messages of emunah and kedusha through the fire from the menorah that shines so bright in our homes. Please Hashem, allow this emunah to travel deep into every fiber of our beings, so that the kedusha bursts forth with a renewed energy and passion to serve you in our daily lives by learning your Torah, performing acts of chesed, and observing your mitzvos. Happy Hanukkah.